Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Perhaps the signature promise of the Premier's leadership campaign was her promise to the teachers' union to pump $107 million back into that system. She promised that money would come from in-year savings and told Albertans she would not dip into our ever-dwindling savings. Last night, however, the Education Minister signaled she may back down from that promise by refusing to say where the money will come from. To the Finance Minister, is the Education Minister just ill-informed, or do you really not know where or how you will pay for the Premier's education promise?
The Honourable Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, there's no ill-informed on this side of the House. I think there's a fair bit on the other side, because what the Minister clearly said on about I quit counting after about 15, 20 answers. The same answer to these members last night is that will be accounted for when we do our year-end accounting, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member.
Mr. Speaker, it's a promise on hope and not on thought. Again to the Finance Minister, given the endless examples of this government's wasteful spending and given the litany of examples that we have suggested where that money can come from, such as eliminating the cabinet pay hikes, scrapping the carbon capture, or extending infrastructure projects by 1 year, perhaps a meeting with our finance critic with your budget could help you walk through to show you how to prioritize and where to find the money.
The Honourable Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to talk a little bit about the report that was released yesterday by the Fraser Institute, Mr. Speaker. It talked about this province and this province's finances being in the best shape of any state or province in North America, Mr. Speaker. So, you know, these particular individuals can continue to flail away at certain expenditures, but we'll have a time pretty soon, Mr. Speaker, when the people of Alberta will pass a decision on whether we're spending money appropriately or whether these folks are focusing on something that Albertans really don't care much about.
The Honourable Member.
Isn't it great to brag about a deficit of $6 billion cash? Unbelievable. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, but I'll direct this question to the other deficit twin then, since the Finance Minister doesn't seem to have a clue. To the President of the Treasury Board, given that your government continues to push back its balanced budget target date because of unbudgeted spending, will you commit here and now to find $107 million in this year's budget so our savings aren't sucked dry and so that your balanced budget target isn't so far away you can't even see it?
The Honourable Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, it's interesting that they're trying to suggest that we have pushed out our targets. I think I answered the question quite clearly in the news scrum, which I saw some of the honourable members diligently taking notes. They obviously must have lost them, I guess. But we did say that our target was 2013-14, and we did also say when we announced the funding for the $107 million that we would find that within in-year savings. And, Mr. Speaker, as the Auditor General has said, and as the Fraser Institute has said, we do the best books in the country, North America.